Hello everyone. Before we get started, please like and share this video. It really helps me out. Also, if you can, subscribe to my YouTube channel and make sure you cut on all notification bells so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And one more thing, when you're watching my videos,
You better make sure you look behind you.
Hi, my name is Emma, and I used to love celebrating Thanksgiving. It was one of my favorite holidays. I love spending time with family and friends. It was really a magnificent time of the year, and I enjoy that holiday. It was until I met my former husband or my ex-husband's family, and that's when everything changed. Now when I think of Thanksgiving, so much trauma comes back, and I don't even like thinking about the holiday. My ex-husband's name was Charlie, and we just finalized the divorce last year, but we were married for about 7 years. When this happened, that I knew was going to be the last year I stayed married to my husband Charlie. Now, before I get started, I really want to warn you, this video is going to be very disturbing, and if you're eating or drinking anything, I highly wouldn't recommend you to. And if you have a weak stomach, then this probably isn't the story you want to hear. So you might want to cut this off now. With that being said, this happened back in 2017. I was with my husband and my in-laws at their house. It was his parents' house, and his parents invited a lot of family over. And it was Thanksgiving Day. I was helping my mother-in-law cook, and everything was going well. That was until she asked me something, and everything changed. Slowly, but everything started to change. Emma, can you do me a favor? Can you go down in the pantry and grab some more sweet potatoes for me? I really appreciate it. Sure, I'll grab it right now. I'll be back momentarily. I went downstairs to their pantry area, where they keep a lot of their food at. As I was grabbing the potatoes that were on top of the refrigerator, I noticed that I smelled something, and it was very strong. So strong to the point I almost wanted to throw up. But I kept my composure, and I grabbed the potatoes, and I ran out of the food pantry. Once I came back, I gave my mother-in-law the potatoes, and I kept busy by helping her make things. I didn't think about the smell in there earlier. I figured that maybe it could have been a certain type of food that went bad. Later that evening, around 4:00 p.m., my husband suddenly asked, "Hey Emma, you want to go for a walk? Just to clear our heads for a bit, get away from the family? I know my family's a little bit too much. I usually do this by myself, especially if I want to take a break from all the extended family members always asking me so much questions. And I do that before I come back and I start eating the Thanksgiving meal. You want to join me?" "Okay, I don't see why not." After that, me and my husband Charlie walked for about an hour. After we walked, we decided to finally head back home. And once we did, the food was ready and everything was prepared. But I noticed something was off about the Thanksgiving turkey. I don't know what it was at the time, but it smelled very weird. I didn't really want to say anything bad about his mother's cooking, but it had a weird smell to it. I thought maybe it was me, but I smelled it and it was very strong. I thought maybe it was just something she put in the turkey, maybe a new kind of seasoning, so I didn't think much of it. But once I started to take a bite of that turkey, I almost wanted to throw up. When I chewed on the turkey, it tasted like metallic. It had this gooey, very stringy taste to it. It was really gross. I didn't know what it was. I really didn't want to be disrespectful as the family was looking at me as I was eating the turkey. I excused myself and I ran inside one of their bathrooms and I threw up. The moment I threw up, when I looked inside of my vomit, I almost wanted to hurl even more, and I tried everything in my power not to scream out loud. What was inside my vomit really disturbed me. Inside there was intestines. I retched even harder, and afterwards, I was about to get up, and that's when I heard a knock at the door. Sweetheart, is everything alright? You good? I was in shock. I didn't respond to her because there was no way in hell I just tried to eat an intestine. I composed myself and flushed the commode. I washed my face and washed my hands, and I opened the door, and I told my mother-in-law, yeah, I guess everything is fine. I think I just got a little sick. I think that's what it was. That's all. My mother-in-law did not say anything to me. She just looked at me with a smirk on her face. And then I walked back into the kitchen while the entire family was staring at me. I sat down and I didn't touch my food as everyone else was eating. And that's when I decided to do something drastic. I reached on the table and I grabbed the turkey. Everyone shouted, wondering what was going on. And then I ripped it open. And what I saw inside that turkey really just scarred me. Inside that turkey was not meat. Well, not turkey meat. It was human meat. When I saw this, I looked at them in disgust, but they didn't seem surprised that I knew. They all smiled. And then I felt a hand on the back of my shoulder. I turned around, and it was Charlie. He smiled while closing his eyes, and then he opened them, and something about his eyes changed. The kind-hearted man that I love and that made me want to marry him seemed gone and replaced with something more wicked and sinister. He said something to me that, to this day, chilled me. Oh, Emma, seems you discovered our secret. This is a family tradition. We always stuff human remains and human intestines in our turkey. It's family tradition. And now you're gonna be a part of that. But of course, not alive. We gotta kill you. See, the food that you ate, that was my ex-wife's intestines that you taste with the turkey. So good, isn't it? That's right, Charlie. It's family tradition. You should be so blessed. You get to be a part of that. Look, sacrificing yourself is the greater good for this family. That's our tradition, and we're going to continue on this tradition. I don't know how to describe the emotion I was feeling that moment, but it did not feel real. I thought this was some kind of joke, some kind of setup. I was frozen, shocked, couldn't say nothing. I didn't know what to do. And then that's when it kicked in. I had to run. I immediately punched it, Charlie, and I made her run out the door. But before I can do that, Charlie's father grabbed me and he told me, get back here, little lady. We're not gonna let fresh meat run out the door like that. My father-in-law grabbed the gun and hit it over my head. And the last thing I remember was everything going black. I woke up inside of a basement. I knew it was the basement because I was down there before. I wasn't all the way down in there, so I didn't know too much about it. But I remember smelling something very putrid. Smelled like rotting meat and wet dog. And then I heard a voice call out to me. Emma, sweetheart, wake up. It was my mother-in-law. She cut on a light, and the minute she did, I saw something that scarred me forever, and it will continue to have some kind of effect on me until I die. What I saw was a bunch of human remains hanging on a meat hook. Flesh, guts, livers, everything, bones, hair, eyeballs, teeth, everything was hanging on a hook. It was like someone skinned a human body alive, and only thing was showing was their bones and flesh. It was hanging on top of the meat hook, and there was one hanging right next to me. I couldn't help it, and I threw up again. As I was throwing up, I looked at the mother-in-law as she was eating more of that turkey, and I noticed there were more intestines inside the turkey that she was eating. She was also eating the eyeballs as well. I watched as she chewed it and blood squirted out from the eyeballs. This was beyond disgusting, and I kept on throwing up. This is so good. You know, we cannibals really enjoy our Thanksgiving. I mean, we get to eat animal meat and human meat. So I decided to combine both of them. I decided to put human remains inside the Thanksgiving turkey. Oh man, so good. All of y'all are so fucking disgusting. Just let me go, I cried out. But my mother-in-law just laughed. And then she got up and cut off the light and walked out of the basement. Before she walked out, she turned around and said, "Oh, Emma, one more thing. This is your last night as a full human being. By the time I'm done, you're gonna be in pieces. So I would enjoy it if I was you instead of yelling and screaming and crying. I can't wait to have you in my mouth." Once she closed the door and locked it, I began to weep. There was no way I was gonna die here. I had to do something. And that's when I noticed there was a knife that wasn't too far for where I was hanging at. Of course, I couldn't get it at first, but then I realized the bookshelf was not far from me. So I made an attempt to grab that knife with my hands stuck together, tied up. I was able to grab it because I was really close by the bookshelf, and somehow I was able to, with both hands tied up, cut the rope that was holding my hands tied up together. I kept on sawing at it until about 30 minutes later, the rope gave away and I was able to cut the rope off. Once that happened, I was able to cut the rope that was tied to my hands off and I was free. I looked around to see if there was any way I could possibly escape. There was a small window, and luckily I was skinny enough to get through it. I found a ladder, and I was able to climb on that, and I opened it, and then I was able to get out. Once I was outside, I felt relief, but I had to hurry. I looked for my car, and I saw it. I was able to get in, and I drove off fast. As I was driving off, I saw the front door open, and I saw Charlie and his parents running out, trying to chase after me, but it was too late. I left. Afterwards, I reported what happened, and the police did come and investigate, but when they did, they were already gone, and all the bodies that were hanging up there that I saw were gone as well. I reassured the officers and I showed them the wound I got on the head from when Charlie's father hit me, and they believed me, but they couldn't do anything because they were gone and the evidence was gone. I tried calling Charlie, but his phone number got disconnected. I don't know what happened to him, but at the same time, I don't want nothing to do with him or his gross, disgusting family. Everything was back to normal until last year when I got some divorce letters from Charlie. At the time when this happened, 2007 until 2024, I was technically still married to Charlie. That was until I got some divorce papers in the mail from him. I got my lawyer to look over them and I signed them, and afterwards the divorce was finalized. I felt free, but I was traumatized because what I saw in that household was so disturbing, and it was gut-turning, nasty. I will never be the same again, and whenever Thanksgiving comes, I don't celebrate it. I don't even like turkey anymore. I'm that traumatized. Hopefully, I can recover eventually, but it's still gonna be a very long process. I hope that Charlie and his disgusting family is found soon.